Stage 3 of Giro d'Italia for women 2024 would take the riders over a 113-kilometre assault from Sabbioneta to the first summit finish of the week, Toano. A flat ride all the way to a single 12-kilometre climb. Stage of two significant parts. Elisa Longoborghini controlling just a single second advantage over Grace Brown on general classification, with the climbers set to loom and the radical change in general classification inevitable by the day's end. Attacks aplenty in the early stages. Faso Bortolo, after their heroics in the breakaway on day 2, in the early attacks off the front. Jade Wheel with an attack that opened up an advantage of just over 50 seconds, but the FDJ Suez rider was called to account, and it was Sarah Roy, the Australian veteran, with the Cofidis squad launching clear just after the intermediate sprint. And she was chased in turn by Elena Perrone of the Roland squad. These two riders combining to open up an advantage, approaching a minute and a half. Policed by the peloton and held to a relatively tight margin. FDJ Suez and Canyon SRAM doing a lot of work on the front to close things down, work on the back as well to keep their riders cooled and hydrated on a really hot day. 29 degrees Celsius faced by the riders. As they approached the final climb, Sarah Roy took her leave of her breakaway companion to be the last rider standing, but a narrow margin wouldn't be enough on the finishing climb. As the riders approached that final climb, it was the hero of the break from the previous day, Maglia Azzurra wearer Magalhães of the B-Pink squad, starting to go south, as indeed did so many other riders. Roy called to account as the DSM squad, among others, set the tempo on the front. Canyon SRAM also looking to put their cohort of riders onto the front of the peloton, and Niedermayer in the young riders jersey looking cool, calm and collected. Others finding the pace a little bit challenging. Grace Brown starting the day second, not able to follow the pace. Ruth Edwards, after her victory in Germany recently, also getting dropped early on in the climb. Lotte Kopecky, the world champion, safely in the lead group, as indeed was Elisa Longoborghini, resplendent in the Maglia Rossa for a second successive day. Down to the final half of the climb. As they approach the 5 kilometres to go marker, the group starting to thin out, and down to the final 2k after a long sustained push. Mavi Garcia, the Liv Jaco Alula squad, springing clear of the field and opening up an advantage. SD Works responding with Niamh Fisher-Black racing onto the tail of the Spanish veteran who had done so much to thin out the group. But it was Niamh Fisher-Black in the final moments of the stage who raced clear to open up a winning margin over her Spanish rival, who was dropping back into the clutches of the leading group of favourites. Niamh Fisher-Black, a 23-year-old New Zealander with the SD Works squad, hanging on for a famous victory. And second across the line, making it an SD Works 1-2 on the day, the world champion Lotte Kopecky, gaining bonus seconds and celebrating the success of her teammate, and that 1-2 on the day. Niamh Fisher-Black accepting the plaudits of her teammates and others at the finish line. Joy unbound, she also leapt into overall contention. Standing on the podium, a New Zealander for the first time in the 35-year history. Niamh Fisher 6 seconds in hand, with Kopecky leading in the group for second for the second successive day. Elisa Longoborghini now 13 seconds clear of Kopecky on overall general classification. Kopecky leading the race on points ahead of the stage 2 winner Chiara Consoni. And Niamh Fisher-Black now the leader of the Queen of the Mountains category and wearer of the Maglia Azzurra, heading into stage 4. And Antonio Niedermayer remains at the head of the young rider classification.